friends, and welcome back to EVE Online with me, Mark from Dadex. I'm sorry I haven't been around for a couple of weeks. I've been ill and work has been crazy, but here we are. Today we're cloaked up on an asteroid belt. Here we are, peekaboo. Today we're in a prospect and expedition frigate and we can cloak. We've got a covert ops cloak fitted. It's very handy. If anything we don't like comes into local or on the D-scan, we just cloak up. The lasers shut off. As long as you're 2,000 meters away from all of the rocks, you can cloak up at will, and you should be very, very hard to find and therefore catch. Hopefully very few people will even notice you're up here if you do it right. Today we're on a dark ochre and crokite signature site. You can easily find them. Just look on your probe scanning window, they'll be right there. You can also find them on your agency tab. It's very good ore. It's very good ore to find in low sec. I'm only about 4 jumps from high sec. The crokite contains pyrite, mexilon and noxium, and the ochre has mexilon, isogen and noxium. And of course another way to make yourself much harder to gank in high sec is to not be there. It's very chilled out in here at the moment. There's some pass through traffic. I just cloak up if there's something strange. I could log in and alt and get a bit naughty if I wanted to, but that's not what I'm really here for. This is the kind of drone facility that's up here at this site. It's one of the sites of these kind of signatures. I found a wormhole with this weird stuff in it. We'll have a look at that if you like. Let me know if you're interested in ammo in. I believe there's 4 of them and you have to complete something in those wormholes at the same time, all 4 of them, to complete some kind of puzzle and get some kind of loot. I'm going to have to find out more about that. If you know anything, let me know in the comment. Anyway, yeah, we're just here chilling out. Really, it's all just about positioning to make yourself a little bit safer. I'm just going to hang out up here. As I said, you can insta-cloak. The fit is basically a pair of Tech 2 miners. They are wasting some ore. Remember, the wastage comes from the remaining asteroid. You get the same. We've got the Microwarpdrive, the shield extender, and I've got a range finding array in there at the moment just because this is my roaming fit. Down in the bottom slots we've got 2 mining laser upgrade 2s, nanofiber internal structure and an inertial stabilizer to make us a bit quicker to get off grid. So no warp core stabilizer on this one. We've got 1 EM rig and 1 shield extender rig. In the hold, as you can see, I've got a selection of things to make this able to mine gas, etc., go into wormholes, find its way around, probe down some sites. It's very self-sufficient, and we've got the mobile depot in there so we can switch fit kind of on the fly. The drones are up to some weird stuff here. Look, they've done this. They put some implants in this asteroid. Very dodgy, but there's no spawn that I can find associated with that structure, so you can go over and have a look. But all we really need to do to keep safe is keep an eye on local and our D-scan. Now, as long as there's only 2 of us in local and the only thing on D-scan is that Hecate, I know I'm pretty safe. He's friendly, so I can go about my business. But to make yourself extra safe, it's all really about your positioning on the belt. So what I'm going to do now, I've got my chosen asteroid bookmarked, so I'm going to move over closer to it. Basically the other side of all of these asteroids from the warping point on this signature. Get somewhere over here where I'm 2,000 meters plus away from all of the asteroids and anything else that might happen to be around. And I can cloak up then if I need to. So I'm just going to get myself maneuvered over here. As soon as everything on the overview is over 2,000 meters, I know I can stop here. And the moment I press cloak, I'll cloak up. In fact, I need to move over a little bit more, so I shall do that. Double click over there, I'll just start moving. Don't need to go far. Stop ship. And here we are, perfect. And then of course, to save ourselves some time, once we've stopped here, we can bookmark our location, the ship's location, and if we want to warp off to unload or just hide or whatever, we can warp straight back here, carry on mining. Everyone's a winner and some time is saved. We've sat here mining nicely. We've been joined by a couple of drone rats who have spawned. I'm just going to ignore them, to be honest. Let's see how the tank holds up. I'm sure we'll be fine. Obviously the spawns can vary. You shouldn't get anything too nasty on these signature sites. I don't think I've ever seen anything more dangerous than a cruiser. There can be other ships with them. We'll see what we get. But I think we can tank these 2 anyway. Just keep an eye on who's coming through local. To see if their security status is low. See who their mates are. See if you get a couple of people in from the same corp. Etc. etc. Just be aware of what's going on in local. Now obviously the prospect has no drones, so we can't get rid of the rats, so this is really our only option. Whilst we're locked up by the rats, we can't cloak, so do be aware of that. The easiest solution is, if you're quite local, obviously, is to reship, come back, pew up the rats if you want to, and job's a good one. Or you can just leave them be. I'm quite confident that from here we'd be able to warp off before anyone got up on grid, got to us, and got decloaked and got us locked up anyway. But keep an eye on D-scan, keep an eye on who's moving through so you know how safe you can feel, and don't worry about the puny rats. If you feel you are taking too much damage or more than you're comfortable with, do start orbiting an asteroid. Basically you'll take much less damage just because you're moving, you're a harder target, you're a small ship. I've shown you in other videos, just popping your Microwarpdrive now and again can make you almost impossible to be hit. Obviously the endurance is an option for your low sec mining, or any kind of mining of course. It's the other expedition frigate. I have done a video comparing those two directly, a link to it is above now, but the Deer version is basically that the prospect I find gives me a slightly better mining yield with a similarly secure fit. The prospect is also bonused for gas cloud harvesting, which is very useful for me in low sec and in wormhole. It gets lots of mining yield bonuses. It can fit the covert ops cloak, so you can warp back cloaks. You're nice and secure when you're roaming around. The endurance has drones to get rid of some rats with. It is bonus for ore mining, but I find, as I said, I get a little less out of it. Not much though. It's also bonus for ice harvesting, so if it after ice, the endurance is the one to go for. The endurance can't fit the covert ops cloak, but it doesn't get a speed reduction bonus when it is cloaked. So even with an improved cloaking device, you can move around on belts very efficiently. And you can do that cloaked, so again you can stay quite secure in your endurance. And another difference between them is the endurance has a much bigger cargo hold. Well, I say much bigger, it's about 50% bigger. You get 19,000 in the endurance, 12,500 on the prospect, so you can stay out and mine longer without having to empty your ship. So the endurance is definitely a valid option for this operation. You could hold more or empty less, but you will mine slightly slower. The prospect is my choice simply because I can get the gas if I find some. These are the ugly little drone rats that are shooting me at the moment, and they're one of my favourites in the game, so I thought I'd give them a little bit of a moment to themselves. They're a wonderful little bit of creativity there. We're nearly full. I've skipped ahead. We have just rode out these two little rats. Tanked them beautifully. They are puny, but just to make the point, we've just stayed here till we're full up, and a full prospect of dark ochre will be about 8.4 million ISK-ish. There is a website to check prices on as you're mining. I'll show you that shortly. But yeah, that's basically what we're getting. Not a bad return, and it's taking us about 20 minutes to fill up the prospect. So if you stuck at it and didn't get interrupted, it'd be about 25 mil an hour, and that's not bad, is it? Anyway, of course, a venture can do everything a prospect can do. Can't do it quite as well, and of course it can't fit covert op cloaks and stuff like that. And of course, I've got an alpha out in ours anyway, so no cloaks at all. So the alpha in the venture is mining. Well, basically it takes just under 20 minutes, about 19 minutes to fill a venture up with this fit that I'm using today, which is Tech 1. I got the particle bore stream miners on there, not Tech 2 mining modules, and it's taking us, as I said, just under 20 minutes to fill up, and that is 5,000 cubic meters because the venture has a much smaller ore hold. It has a tiny cargo hold. You can use the cargo hold, of course, to carry around the bits you need to switch over to gas harvesting. There is a dark ochre asteroid. It looks kind of like the pebbles we get around here that have got flint inside them, that kind of look. Whereas the Crokite, as you've seen all over the place, is very blingy. Crokite also contains the most Mexilon of any ore in the game. So if it's Mexilon you're after, these sites can be quite handy to find. You can also find low-sec sites that are spawning Hedgebrite, Homorphite, Gneiss or Spodumane, which I obviously had to read off a list there because me pronouncing those off the cuff never works out very well. Anyway, yeah, the venture is more than capable of doing this. I love the venture. What it lacks in cloaking ability, particularly as an alpha, it makes up for with its +2 warp core stabilizer bonus on its hull. So I've got a inertia stabilizer fitted in the low slot to make me quicker to get off grid. I've not gone for maximum mining yield. To check all prices, I like the Fuzzworks site. I've shown it in lots of videos. It shows you pretty accurate information in reasonably real time. You can search it by per cubic meter, which is usually my favourite way to measure it. The big difference between the Ochre and the Crokite in terms of picking it up is simply that although per unit they're worth about the same value of ISK, Crokite takes up twice as much cargo space, so basically you can carry half as much and it takes twice as long to harvest the same amount. So that's why I'm going for the Ochre for cash. For Mexalon, go for the Crokite. Right, we've got a little bit more of a serious rat spawn here. Oh, the Venture has already taken care of those 2 drones with his Tech 2 drones that I've got today. So we've got a couple of frigates and a couple of destroyers, so I'll let the drones loose and just see if we can take them out. Our tank today is, of course, the 3 rigs of the EM rig and 2 extenders to make this nice and tanky. In the mid slots we've got a shield extender, a Tech 2 shield hardener and the Microwarpdrive to get us buzzing around. And I've got the core probe launcher fitted on here so we can find gas sites. You could, of course, alternatively carry around in your Venture enough modules to switch over to blasters and a magnetic field stabilizer, and if the rats turn up, just switch your fit, because you can get cruisers up here and it'll take a while maybe for the drones to eat them. If you do get bigger rats spawn on these, if you've seen that, like a battleship, let me know. I think battle cruisers might spawn on these occasionally. If you're in a Venture and you haven't got a better ship to come and take out those rats in, the big ones, then yeah, nipping off and fitting blasters does speed up the process. If it had a bigger cargo hold, I'd do wacky videos of me low sec belt ratting in a Venture, because they can take down quite a lot of the rats. Might take a while if they're big, but the problem is you can't pick up much cargo. You know, you're picking up 50 cubic meter modules off of battleship drops, and that is the Venture's cargo hold. I think that's probably a little bit deliberate. I don't know. As I've said many times, they're very nice ships to learn your way around low sec in, because they're quite agile, they're hard to catch, they're low value. If it all goes wrong, what have I lost? The ore I'm carrying and you know, a couple of million. An early game is even less than that, the ISK wise. I've showed you some very cheap fits even to go into a wormhole with. Well, as I've been chatting, the drones have been munching. We're down to the last rat by the look of it. I'm down to nearly half shield, but bear in mind I'm just sat here taking it. You would normally want to be moving around if you've got things shooting at you, that's for sure. I'm just showing you the worst case scenario. But of course, never go AFK when you're mining, especially when you're mining in low sec. Somebody could be up here very quickly because they can just see the signature. They can get up here, they don't need to probe scan you down like you do in other situations. But we're nearly full, we've taken down all the rats. It's about 3.4 million a mining hold full of ochre in the Venture. So as I said, under 20 minutes. So you're probably looking at about 12.5 million, 13 million an hour in the Venture, about 25 million an hour in the Prospect. But we had no hassle, no grief. I did cloak up once in the Prospect because I didn't like the look of some of the people in local. Apart from that, easy peasy. So that, my friends, is a quick, gentle look at mining in low sec. Remember, it is an option, it's not hard to do, and the risks can be very small compared to the amount of money you're going to make for mining compared to going around rocks in high sec, that's for sure. And you get an experience at using your D-scan, reading local, all that good stuff that's going to help you keep alive no matter what you're doing. Anyway, my friends, that's it for now. Take care of yourselves and each other. We'll be back soon with an alpha in a heron in a wormhole, now that my PC is healthy. Leave your comments down below. Have you had a go at this? Has this inspired you? Any hints and tips you might have yourselves? Leave your in-game name if you want a chance at a catalyst skin. And please, of course, do leave us a like on the video if you have liked it. But for now, my friends, remember, even as believing, fly brave, and goodbye.